Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News' second video of the day. It's August 8th, 2023, and it's reported that Barcelona could sign Neymar Jr. on a one-season loan through Saudi Arabia. Also, Joao Felix reportedly is willing to wait for Barcelona to see whether the club will be signing him during this summer transfer market. And finally, I do have bad news for you in regards to Vitor Roque. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, I would just like to announce that Barca News has teamed up with BetUs, which is the largest sportsbook company in the US, where you can place bets on all of Barcelona matches, La Liga matches, football matches, and of course, any sporting event as well. Now, the link is down below in the description, and if you click on it, you will get a promotion, which is 125% promotion or offer, which means that if you deposit $100, you will get $25 for free, so you can use towards your bet. So if you are feeling lucky or adventurous, make sure to click on the link, which is down below in the description. Now, as always, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback. That link is also down below in the description. Now, I'll begin with the news that Barcelona have officially finalized their preseason with one more victory, defeating Tottenham Hotspurs 4-2 in the Joan Gamper Trophy, which was played at the Olympic Stadium at the top of Montjuic, where Barcelona will play the remainder of the season, as the Spotify Camp Nou is currently undergoing major renovations. Now, I did not watch the entire match because I was working. I only watched certain parts and I watched extended highlights. So I'm not gonna go too deep into my post-match analysis. I'm only gonna say a few things, and do take these things with a grain of salt, because again, I didn't watch the full match, the full 90 minutes. But I have to say that this match confirmed what I had said in the previous post-match analysis after Barcelona defeated AC Milan, and that is that the future is definitely bright. Now, the reason I say this because the team did not perform well during the first 3 quarters of the match, where the team was lacking a lot of mechanisms. They couldn't seem to get the movement of the ball right. They couldn't get out of the area. Tottenham Hotspurs were dominating for most of the match, but then as soon as Lamine Yamal came into the match, he completely changed the face of the match and the outcome of the match. And between Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez, Ansu Fati, and Abde, they carried the team on their back, and they oversaw a comeback where Barcelona went from losing 1-2 to winning the match 4-2, which again confirms what I said before, that the future is definitely bright. Now, Lamine Yamal, my God, this guy is absolutely amazing, and we saw that in today's match, completely annihilating defenders, dribbling past everyone, creating so much danger, and participating in all 3 goals during the second half. And he's only 16 years old, which is totally crazy and confirms what I said before, or at least gives me more reason to believe what I said before, which is that I have no doubts that Lamine Yamal will be benching Rafinha pretty soon. Maybe not during the season, but definitely next season, because Lamine Yamal is simply out of this world. Now, for those of you who always criticize me or attack me for criticizing Rafinha, I have to ask this question. Now that you've seen Lamine Yamal play, do you see the difference between Rafinha and Lamine Yamal? Do you see the difference of what a proper Barcelona winger should look like? And let's not forget that Lamine Yamal is only 16 years old. He's never played first division football. He's never played second or even third division football. He just came up through the Juvenil A, or the under-19 youth team. And he costs us €0. Yet on the other hand, we have Rafinha, who's 26 years old. He's in the prime of his career. He has played in the best league in the world, which is the Premier League. He cost us €60 million. And yet Lamine Yamal is completely embarrassing this guy. But yet people keep insisting that when I criticize Rafinha is because I hate him or because I have something against him. And that's not why. This is why, because Lamine Yamal today showed us what a proper Barcelona winger should look like, what someone who creates danger should look like, what a differential player should look like, what a 60 million euro player should look like, and it's definitely not what Rafinha is. Now, again, I don't want to get in too deep into this post-match analysis because I didn't watch the whole match. I just got to say they were pretty amazing goals, all four of them. Amazing performance by the Barcelona youngsters. And I do have to say, I really like what Barcelona have done with the Olympic Stadium at the top of Montjuic. The stadium looks really good and ready for the upcoming season. But one thing I have to highlight is that it was pretty sad seeing that half of the stadium was empty, which highlights the big problem that Barcelona currently have, where a lot of the Barcelona members are not requesting tickets, are not requesting season tickets, which is a big problem because Barcelona are already going to lose 100 million euros from the move to this Olympic Stadium because it has half the capacity of the Spotify Camp Nou. And on top of that, we can't even fill that small stadium, which is an absolute shame. And I'm very embarrassed for the Barcelona club members, and I really hope everybody steps up and we can start filling this stadium up because Barcelona definitely need this. We need to help our club during some of the most difficult financial times that we've seen in the history of Barcelona. But nonetheless, Barcelona have now finalized the preseason with another victory. That's 3 victories and 1 defeat. And Barcelona are now ready to begin La Liga season, which will officially begin on Sunday, August the 13th, as Barcelona are set to face off against Getafe. Now on to the other big story that broke today, not perhaps as big as this one that I just told you about, the 180 million euros, but it was reported today that Barcelona might be able to sign Neymar on a 1-season loan through Saudi Arabia. Now, as I talked about in yesterday's live stream, Joan Laporta and some members of the board of directors are considering signing Neymar because what it would mean as far as media attention and generating revenue and sponsorship and perhaps helping fill up the Montjuic Stadium. But of course, Xavi Hernandez is against this idea because he believes that Neymar's best years are behind him. He's also injury prone. And of course, we all know about the antics of Neymar and his toxicity in the locker room. So there's currently a division in Barcelona about whether they should sign Neymar Jr. or not. And of course, in my personal opinion, I said it would not be good sporting wise, but I didn't see how Barcelona would be able to pull this deal off because Neymar does earn an incredibly high salary, around 50 million euros per season. Plus, there is the issue of his transfer fee because I don't see PSG wanting to give us a player for free. Now, the story that broke today was initially broke by the French media outlet L'Equipe and then confirmed by several media outlets in the Middle East. And they're saying that there's currently a Saudi club, they haven't mentioned who are willing to sign Neymar from PSG and then loan him back to Barcelona for 1 season. And then in exchange, Barcelona would have to agree to some marketing deals with the Saudi club, whether it be Barcelona perhaps maybe playing friendly matches in Saudi Arabia, some kind of marketing campaigns together. But the story is that the Saudi club would sign Neymar from PSG and then loan him to Barcelona for 1 season. In exchange, Barcelona would agree to some marketing agreements or deals with the Saudi club. Now, I personally have incredibly high doubts about this story or about this report. This sounds exactly like the same story that they sold us a month ago, where they said that Inter Miami was going to sign Lionel Messi and then they were going to loan him back to us for 1 season. Of course, when that story broke, I told you that I believed that it was complete BS. It made no sense. And I think this is the same exact thing for this report, because I don't see why Saudi Arabia would, or whichever Saudi club it is, would want to spend all that money on signing Neymar, paying his transfer fee, paying his salary, just to turn around and loan him to us. That to me makes absolutely no sense. There's also the risk of injury. Like, what if they loan him to us and then he gets injured? Then what are they going to do? They just spend all that money on a big star and he's injured. Again, it doesn't make any sense to me. Also, it doesn't make any sense because the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Qatar, of course, Qatar are the owners of PSG. Neymar has a lot of deals with the Qatari government as far as sponsorships. The relationship between Saudi Arabia and Qatar are not good, politically speaking. They're also not good when it comes to football. There's a huge competition on who can outdo the other. Qatar did the World Cup. Saudi is now investing crazy amounts of money into their league. So I don't see Qatar or PSG wanting to sell Neymar to a Saudi club. But again, even if they do, why would that Saudi club spend all that money on making this huge signing just to turn around and loan them to us. So I personally do not buy the story, but nonetheless, that was the story that broke today, so it's my duty to bring it to you. You tell me what do you think. Drop a comment down below. Now, as I reported in yesterday's live stream, I told you that Manchester City were closing the doors on Barcelona. They didn't want to negotiate with Barcelona the signing of Bernardo Silva, and that they were instead preparing a contract renewal offer for the Portuguese midfielder. And while the story is, or the new news is, that Manchester City have officially made a contract renewal to Bernardo Silva to extend his contract past the summer of 2025. Now, this of course comes per Pep Guardiola's request, because Bernardo Silva is one of the biggest stars of Manchester City. Pep Guardiola completely counts on the player, wants him to stay, so he has requested that Manchester City do everything in their power to extend the contract of the Portuguese midfielder, and Manchester City have reportedly made an official contract renewal offer to Bernardo Silva. Now, it's been transmitted through Bernardo Silva's entourage that the player is willing to wait a little bit more for Barcelona to see whether Barcelona can make a serious offer that can convince Manchester City to let us have him, but he's not going to wait for that much longer. And if Barcelona do not make a serious offer, then Bernardo Silva will accept this contract renewal, because he wants to focus on the upcoming season, not having to think where he's going to be playing, whether in the Premier League or in La Liga. So unless Barcelona make a serious offer in the upcoming days, Bernardo Silva will most likely be renewing with Manchester City. Initially, I was going to say that this door is probably permanently closed because there is no money to make a serious offer. But now with the new economic lever, we're going to have to see whether Barcelona will make an offer to Manchester City for Bernardo Silva or not. Now, speaking of waiting for Barcelona, it's reported that Joao Felix is willing to wait for the club to see whether they're going to sign him during this summer transfer market. Now, I told you in previous video that Joao Felix had communicated to Atletico de Madrid that he wanted to leave this summer, but he only wanted to leave to Barcelona. He also instructed his agent, Jorge Mendes, to block any kind of offers from any other clubs unless it was Barcelona, because he really wants to come to the club during this summer transfer market. However, I also told you that Xavi Hernandez had ruled out this operation, maybe not completely, but it's reported that Xavi Hernandez would prefer a different kind of player than Joao Felix. Now, nonetheless, it seems that Joan Laporta is not completely ruling out this option, because he would like to see Joao Felix in Barcelona, not only because Laporta is a big fan of the player, but also because Laporta thinks that maybe signing Joao Felix could be that star signing that Barcelona could make during this summer transfer market in order to fill up the Olympic Stadium in Montjuic and kind of garner that attention and that media that Joan Laporta is looking for, which is something I told you about when I discussed the Neymar Jr. case in yesterday's live stream. So Barcelona are not completely ruling this out, this option of signing Joao Felix, and it's reported that they have told Joao Felix to wait for them until the final days of the summer transfer market, because Barcelona want to first tend to other priorities, since Joao Felix is not really a priority for the club right now. Also, Barcelona want to make sure that they register everyone, and they sign perhaps someone for the right back position, which is a priority. And of course, then see if there's enough space on the wage bill to register the contract of Joao Felix. And it's reported that Felix has told Barcelona that he is willing to wait for the club until the final days of the summer transfer market to see whether Barcelona can sign him. Now, we started the video with good news, and it's unfortunate that I have to end it with bad news. But it seems that Atletico Paranaense are refusing to negotiate with Barcelona for Vitor Roque to arrive during this summer transfer market. Now, I told you about in previous videos that Barcelona were trying to accelerate the arrival of Vitor Roque since Dembélé will be leaving to PSG. Now, of course, Barcelona have an agreement with Atletico Paranaense that would see Vitor Roque arrive in the club in 2024. But Barcelona were trying to see if Vitor Roque could arrive during this summer transfer market, and there was a possibility of that had Atletico Paranaense, or if Atletico Paranaense are eliminated from the Libertadores Cup, which is the equivalent of the Champions League in South America. Now, it looks like Atletico Paranaense have told Barcelona that they don't want to let Vitor Roque go during this summer transfer market. Even if they are eliminated from the Libertadores before the summer transfer market closes, Atletico Paranaense want to keep Vitor Roque so he can help them qualify for next year's Copa Libertadores. And the earliest they're willing to part ways with Vitor Roque is in the winter transfer market, so January of 2024. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, peace, Barça.